The new iOS 27 public beta is just around the corner. We're actually now just days away from the release of the first public beta of the new iOS 27, and this is the time when Apple thinks that the update is stable enough and good enough for the public to be able to test it. And you need to know a few different things before you try to update your iPhone to the new iOS 27 public beta. Now, first of all, talking about the release date, we're actually like 4 days away from now until this update gets out to the public. That will be Monday, July the 13th. Usually Apple does this, and taking a look back at history and how Apple has released public betas, we're expecting it to happen this Monday. That again will be July 13th when the first iOS 27 public beta will be out for the public to be able to test it. Now, what devices will be able to install iOS 27 public beta? Well, every device that has iOS 26 will be able to do that. So if you have a device, an iPhone that runs iOS 26, then you will be able to update to the new iOS 27 public beta. Now, of course, not all the features that you get on the newer devices like the iPhone 16 and 17 and the 15 Pros won't be able to actually have access to those on older devices. Of course, mostly the new Apple Intelligence features, but still you will be able to install iOS 27 public beta on every iPhone that supports iOS 26 currently. So that's actually a great thing, even though you will be missing a few new features. Now, of course, as always, installing an iOS update, even a beta on your device, is pretty straightforward, very simple to do. All you have to do is once it's out this Monday, you just simply go ahead and head onto your settings. You go right here under the software updates section, which of course can be found here under the general settings. You go software update and you will have here the beta updates section. Now, what you need to do here is simply go here and choose the public beta. You will see the options here. If you're currently on iOS 26, you will also see the option for iOS 26 betas and iOS 27 betas. And then you go ahead and select the iOS 27 public beta. You come back here, refresh the page, and you will get the update right there. Now, you will be able to do this if you're on iOS 26.5 or 26.5.1 or 0.5.2. You won't be able to do this if you're on the betas of iOS 26, or of course if you're on the dev beta of iOS 27. If you're on the third dev beta, because if you're on the second and you haven't yet installed the third, you will most likely be able to actually update to the public beta from here, even though that is not something that I suggest you do that, because it's actually no benefit to that. You won't get any change extra or something like that. It's basically the same update as iOS 27 beta 3. Again, talking about differences, what Apple does is that they release a dev beta and then the public beta comes after that. It is the exact same update. The first actual iOS 27 public beta will be the exact same update as iOS 27 beta 3. If there is a slight change there, then Apple will also re-release iOS 27 beta 3 with those like minor changes. Otherwise, these two will actually be the exact same updates. And then after that, once it's time to release beta 4, which Apple will most likely do on the 20th of July, then a day after, on the 21st or maybe even 22nd, you get the second public beta, which is again the exact same update. So don't worry about differences. There's actually no differences between the third beta and the public beta, and then won't be any difference between the next betas that will be released and of course the next public betas that will be released in the future. Now, of course, when it comes to installing a beta on your iPhone, the main worry and the main thing that you need to know is how is performance, stability, and battery life on these betas, especially if you have one device and you're trying to install this update on your main device. You need to be very careful. But with iOS 27, things are actually quite different than previously. Now, I wouldn't suggest anyone to install a beta, an initial beta of iOS 26 on their device last year. But this year with iOS 27, things have changed. And Apple has basically kept their promise. They have worked in the background here on all the processes that go on iOS, stability, performance, speed, and all that is actually great. You can see this is the Geekbench score right here for iOS 27 Beta 3. It looks really good. The performance is great. It's very stable, it's very smooth, and it is actually also good on battery life. Now, a lot of people have actually been complaining about the second beta not having as good as battery life as the first beta, and I can agree to that, but the third beta looks like it actually has improved. So taking a look at the battery life right here, you can see the last few days. So of course, since iOS 27 Beta 3 has been released, you can see 6 and 30 minutes right here on 80% battery, 8 hours right here and 16 minutes on 82% battery, and then right here 8 hours 37 minutes with 102% battery. So the battery is actually quite good with iOS 27 Beta 3, even though in my opinion the best was Beta 1, but most likely it will improve on the next betas even more. So when it comes to stability, performance, speed, and battery life, I think there's nothing to worry about with having this update installed on your main device. Next up, let's talk about future updates. Well, with iOS 27 betas, we're still on a 2-week cycle, and that will most likely happen until Beta 5, until we move from Beta 5 to Beta 6. So with iOS 27 public beta releasing on the 13th, expect a new beta then to be released, the 4th beta on the 20th of July, and then after that should come the second public beta, and then the 3rd of August most likely will be the 5th beta of iOS 27. Of course, a day after that, the 3rd public beta, and then from Beta 5 to Beta 6, I think we will move to a weekly schedule. So we'll have Beta 6 right here, Beta 7, Beta 8, and then usually Apple will take like a couple of weeks to release the RC, which in my opinion will be either the 7th or the 8th of September, most likely the 7th, and then the public release should happen on September 14th. Now, another thing you need to know is downgrading. A lot of people will want to update, but then they think they can downgrade. You can still actually downgrade from betas, of course, as long as we have iOS 26 still being signed. But if you're just planning to try out the software and then downgrade, I wouldn't suggest you do this. It's a long process. It will take you quite long. And of course, it's basically something that you need to be kind of an expert to do, and it's not just like you click a button and you downgrade. So if you don't think about having this update until September, until the public release is out, then just don't install it at all on your device. Otherwise, talking about whether you should update or not, well, I think you should. If you just like all the new features, all the cool new features that Apple has added to iOS 27, I don't see any problem with any iOS user actually having their device updated to the new iOS 27. Everything feels just like a normal software, not a beta. Everything is super smooth, super fast. It is actually quite good. And of course, you get some amazing new features, especially the new Apple Intelligence features. So that is it for this video, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the video and found it helpful. If you did, smash that like button and subscribe for more. I'll see you on the next one.